What's up, everyone? Chris Record here. Tuesday, October 24th. I am in Dallas, Texas, and today is day number 2 of the Viral Clipping Academy. And so what I'm going to do is dive right in. We just did about an hour pregame episode. If you guys are not attending live, you've got to attend live. You got to get on those pregames. It's so much fun. We did questions and answers. I had guests from the conference come in. We went a little bit long. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you an actual concept that you can start using immediately to start clipping. In fact, if we have time, I'm going to clip something right in front of your eyes. And so what I'm going to do without any further ado is go ahead and share my screen, and we're just going to have some fun with this thing. Let's give it a run. Okay, so you should be able to see YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. Don't worry about what videos YouTube wants to show me. That is irrelevant. The main thing is I just want to kind of show you, and again, I'm on my music account, so it's probably going to show me random stuff on here. So don't worry about that. But let's go ahead and search Alex Hormozi podcast. Okay. So when it comes to viral clipping, yesterday I talked about one of the big important things to be able to clip is going to be podcasts. And you can see here, Alex Hormozi, there's Ed Mylett, Tom Bilyeu, Lewis Howes, Iced Coffee podcast. So you can kind of go to any one of these and search, and there's this podcast. And if you look, 1 million views, and it's 2 hours long. So there's probably so many good clips in that podcast, right? So you kind of look and see there's one with Layla, same thing, an hour, like 432,000. So you kind of look, and you can do the same thing. Let's go back to Alex Hormozi, and let's see what other podcasts he's on. So let's do podcast. Dave Ramsey, The Game, Clips, Podcast Clips, Lewis Howes, all these. Let's do Ed Mylett. Okay. A masterclass in business with Alex Hormozi and Ed Mylett right here in the studio. Increase your profits with urgency. That's a year ago. So look, here's a podcast from a year ago. It's an hour long, and here's a podcast from 2 weeks ago. So when you find a podcast, it could be anybody's podcast. Okay, we're going to let these ads run. That's one of the things about this account is that it has ads on it. I paid for ads off my other account. So once you find one, I'm going to show you a couple things you could do. Okay, first thing is you're kind of always looking to see if it has chapter markers. So these right here are chapter markers. They have these split into chapters. So let's, what is it trying to sell me down here? Don't renew. Okay. So let's go down here. Let's look at these chapter markers. Okay. So if you open up the description of a show, so at some point, they put in these chapter markers here, right? So they have the intro, there's leads, there's getting customers, sales cycle, there's all this kind of stuff right here. Okay. So this is helpful. This information right here is going to kind of give me, at least when podcasts do this, it does help out a little bit. It gives me an idea of what kind of, it kind of gives me an idea of like what at least the podcast is about and where I might be able to find some stuff. Now, you could always just watch it, but like I don't want to tell you guys to have to spend an hour here, hour there. But to start with, I actually enjoy podcasts. I enjoy podcasts when I'm going out for a walk. I enjoy podcasts when I'm on the treadmill at the gym. I actually listen to podcasts quite frequently. And so one of the things I'll do is I'll listen to a podcast, and then when I hear something just like really, really, really powerful, I'll pause, and I'll know it's powerful because it'll get my attention. I'll actually pause the podcast. I'll break out my phone, and I will take a note in my phone of kind of like the time and like what the topic is. I do this all the time. So I listen to podcasts all the time or long videos all the time, and then I'll just kind of take like little notes. So for example, I was listening to this one, and here are my notes. I'm looking at my note on my phone. It's from a while back. This is from like last week. And it just kind of says around the 6-minute mark, he starts talking about one-to-one, one-to-many, and a process of advertising. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to like the 6-minute mark and listen real quick. Let me put this up. Let me just listen and kind of see.
With a lot of the preconceived, I was like, what about earned media? What about owned media? Like I had all these, I had to deconstruct everything into simply, you can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're
I'm going to keep playing it a little bit longer, like 30 seconds. I want you just to hear an example. Just imagine right now this is a solo clip.
one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. And so then you're like, well, if those are the...
I mean, even right there. Now, and some of you might think, okay, he went left field with the line about the girls and advertising who they've slept with. But honestly, I kind of don't mind that because that might get some people talking in the comments anyways, right? So I kind of feel like, whatever. But that was about 1 minute, right? Like 6 to 7, the 6 minute something mark to the 7 minute mark. It's like less than a minute. So that would be an example. In a 1 hour podcast, everything we just heard right there would be an example of a clip. And so if I want to clip that, there are a few ways to do it. Now, one of the most common ways to be able to clip would be to grab the YouTube URL, right? You can grab it. There's a bunch of different ways to grab a YouTube URL. You can hit the share button and just copy the link, right? But you want to grab the URL button and you want to use a tool called the 4K Video Downloader. So if you Google 4K Video Downloader, the one that you want is this one by Softonic. It has like a green cloud logo on it. Kind of see it a little bit better if I see, not this one with the explanation points. It's this one down here with the green cloud on it. When you click on this, it should recognize your computer. Like this one recognizes I have a Mac, and I'm going to download it for free. Now, when I download it for free, it's going to take me to a page to get me to like try to buy like an upgrade, but you don't need to. It's going to look like an application like this. It's going to be a green bubble, a green circle with a green cloud and a little film strip in it called the 4K Video Downloader. And you should be able to, I save it to my shortcuts bar here, but you should be able to save it. And as you can see here, there's a bunch of videos. Once you have this tool open, all you have to do is hit paste link. And it already remembered I copied the link. All you have to do is hit paste link. And it is now going to locate that video. It's going to show you the options you have. I'm just going to go ahead and choose high definition, download. Now, in the background, it's downloading this. And you'll see a little blue bar that kind of says how long it's downloading. So we're going to let this download in the background. So that's one option. One option is, and look, it's trying to sell me, but I just use this tool for free. There's just no reason. You don't need to buy this. Okay. Another tool, I'll put a link below this video to a tool called Munch Clips. I'll put a link below this video for those of you that are interested in this. Another thing that we'll probably get into a little bit is AI tools, but there's AI tools where you can actually paste the URL, okay, and be able to use it, right? So let me see. I don't know where I have an account with this. We'll see. We got a few different accounts. So what you would do is you would go here. Okay, I don't have an account here. Hold on. Let me log out. Hold on real quick. I don't know. I got so many accounts in these tools. Okay, here we go. Hormozi X Milet podcast. So I already have one of this one. So essentially, I just pasted the YouTube URL into Munch. And look, it made all of these short videos. It made all of these videos. And look how many it made. So there's AI tools. I'll put a link below this video to this one. But there's AI tools. Right? And the reason I say I'll put a link below the video is because that way we get like community deals. It also allows affiliates in our community to be able to earn commission. So if you ever hear me promote something, don't sign up for these tools. Use the links below the videos all the time if you can, because that way it benefits the community in general. But yeah, so it kind of ranks them. It ranks them by score. You know, you can kind of like rank them this way, but it basically made 30 clips out of this 1 hour podcast just by using Munch, right? So it munched and created 30 clips, the fastest podcast in history, whatever. So let's go to edit this. And what it did was it automatically created this video. So it automatically took this clip and it automatically created it in portrait mode, just like this. Let's go ahead and press play.
It's truth. By the way, Sasha, have we really been going 45 or 50 minutes? 50 minutes? I literally think we've been doing this for 15 minutes. I have never, dude, I've done 500 podcasts. I have never looked up at the clock and gone, it was 50 minutes. I thought it was like 50.
Okay, so you see it automatically clipped this little scene. It found that it was like a funny scene. It noticed, the AI noticed, it automatically put it in portrait mode, automatically added this kind of stuff. That's this tool. But if you felt like it needed to be opened up a little bit more, you could open up the beginning a little bit more. You could extend out the end a little bit more, so you can kind of adjust. You can start at any point you want, stop it. So it kind of pulls out these clips. It kind of automatically titles them, and then you just export them. It also allows you to be able to change things, like you can change the font. If you don't like that font, you can change the size. You can change the text color. You can choose the effect color. There's just all kinds of things. There's different templates you can choose. So you could choose like you could just completely change to this one. It automatically change to this one. It automatically brings the subtitles in, change to this one. And it just automatically. So there's tools like this that exist that make it a lot easier.
I'm not exaggerating, and I'm not letting us go just yet. Bro, I'm not exaggerating.
So see, it automatically just kind of comes up with all these templates, all these styles. It can auto-highlight words. You can give the auto-highlight colors. And so it kind of even lets you go in and edit these kind of things. So there's tools, okay? I'm not going to dive into these tools today, but the real thing I wanted to show you is like being able to take 4K video downloader. As you can see here, it's downloading right here, and it's going to be done in just a second. And when this is done, okay, it has now saved it. I could just right click and show in Finder. So here it is. I've downloaded. I've downloaded the whole video. Okay, now you need a video editing tool. Now, the one that I'm going to use for this example is going to be CapCut. So essentially, you're going to get CapCut for free. You're going to download CapCut for free. You're going to go over here, download, and you're going to download it for Windows and Mac. Once you open up CapCut, you're going to come to a screen like this, and you're going to start a new project. Make sure that's sharing. Okay. So you're going to start a new project, right? And there's going to be, over here on the left is where you're going to try to grab some clips. And so you're going to go to the 4K video downloader, and you're going to take that clip you downloaded. You're going to show it in folder. And then right there, you're going to take that, and you're going to drag it over here into import. It's going to be that simple. So here's the clip. So there's the clip. You just dragged it right over. And then this is kind of like your bin. This is where your files go. So we're going to drag it down here. Now, the only problem with it being here is that it is 1 hour and 5 minutes. We need to now create a clip out of this. And so in this example, I kind of was listening to it, and I noticed that around the 6 to 7 minute mark, there's a good 1 minute clip. So let's go over here. Let's name this. Let's name this Hormozi X Milet. And let's just call this one clip 1. Okay. So you got to name it something. So let's go over here and let's find that clip. So I'm going to go over to the plus button. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I see right here is about the 6 minute mark. So let's listen real quick for a good starting place. Let's listen together for a good starting place for where this clip could start.
Buy their stuff, not to buy it because that would be sales, but how to want to buy their stuff. And so in going through this, we made 2 4 boxes, and this took,
it's awesome,
100 iterations to get it here.
And last night, it's awesome.
It was really hard. Like as crazy as it sounds, I believe it. I came into it with a lot of the preconceived. I was like, what about earned media? What about owned media? Like I had all these. I had to deconstruct everything into simply, you can talk to people one-on-one.
I like to say after he took the breath, he kind of took a breath there, and I felt like that's the beginning of a good start. Remember, I don't need everything. So now I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to kind of look for like somewhere around these breaths. You can see there's like a pause. Let's listen again.
It's crazy as it sounds. I believe it. I came into it with a lot of the preconceived. I was like, what about earned media? What about owned media? Like I had all these. I had to deconstruct everything into simply, you can talk to people.
Like right there, he goes, you can talk to people. So let's just cut. Let's make a cut right there. And what happens if I just delete all that? And then I go back to the beginning. Let's listen from here.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out. If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good. Okay.
And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. And so,
okay, I like that. Advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. So let's go back to where that was.
Then you're like, well, if those are the only 4 things that, and so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it.
Okay, so then advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. I'm zooming in, and I'm looking for the perfect endpoint.
Known. That's how we define it.
Okay, and it kind of takes a breath right there, and we're going to make another cut. Now, there's a lot of things we could do here. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything afterwards. Now, what I'm left with is I'm actually left with a 37-second clip. Now, there's a bunch of ways I could do it. I could just simply go through and find another clip. Let's say another clip started right here. I can make a cut every time there's a clip, and then I could just click on the in-between stuff, and I could press V, which makes it inactive. So I could actually just I could take this whole thing right now and go, there's an active clip, then I don't want to use that. There's an active clip that I don't want to. I could go through and have it all in one file. But for this example, I'm just going to delete. I'm just going to stick with just this one clip right here. There's a 37-second clip, and I'm just going to start with that. So now we have this 37-second clip right here. And essentially, the question is, like, should I cut anything out? The first thing I might want to cut out is, let's look at this reaction here from Ed Milet. Let's play it.
It's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only...
I don't know. In this situation, normally I would cut out, once it jumps to another speaker, I would cut that out. But in this situation, I actually feel like he's actually telling the audience it's good, and he only talks for a split second. So I actually think in a way it's kind of like helpful. So let's just say right here, this clip is good to go. We got 37-second clip. Okay, we're going to go over here to ratio. Okay, and we're going to go to 9:16. Okay, now we have this. Now we have the video instead of a 9:16 square. We're going to go over here to scale, and we're going to scale, and kind of find like a spot right there where it's fitting in this video. I'll pull this down so you can kind of see it a little bit better. So I've just scaled. You can kind of scale left and right like this. Just scale until you kind of get it right there. Okay, now I've got it in a portrait mode. So now it's 9:16. It's in a portrait mode. Now we're going to watch it again. This time we're listening to see if there's anything we want to cut out, but we're also at the same time just making sure the person stays in the frame. So I'm taking note to like, is there any part where I should slightly adjust this thing left or right? Really quick, let's play.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the four variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out. Mm-hmm. If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only four ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Mm-hmm. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? Mm-hmm. And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it.
Okay, I like everything. This is he's kind of out of frame, but I might as well teach you what to do just in case somebody's out of frame. So if somebody's kind of out of frame, what you want to do is you want to zoom in on that. And then I could just use the right arrow and kind of clip through until I keep pressing right until he starts. So I found the one slide he starts on is right there. Now, there's a couple ways I could fix this. I'm going to show you 2 different ways. One's going to be a little more beginner. One's going to be a little more advanced. The first is I could just make a cut right there and then go find kind of like press the right arrow until he's off. There's where he's off, right? And so then I can kind of make another cut. So what I could do is I can kind of just make a cut. And then when I click on this frame in the beginning here, then all I have to do is kind of position it. So you can kind of just like, if you notice here, position, I'm just moving the position up, the X position. Kind of like this. I'm just holding it down right now, to be honest. I'm not really doing anything. I could go a lot faster if I just type in the number, but I'm just showing you like in real time. You're kind of getting an idea. Now it's kind of moving in more towards the center, right? But let's just say the number's 500. Okay. So this kind of shows you right there. 500 puts him there, right? So again, 0, where it's default, he's kind of off to the left. If I do 500, he's kind of more centered, right? So now let's go back and let's just see how he looks just with this transition. This is the simple way to do it. I'm going to show you a better way.
Paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only...
See how quick that was? Now we're going to do this zoom out again and just show you how easy that was to fix. We're going to go back a little bit further.
To people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways.
Okay, so that's one way to do it. Now, depending on what you want to do, there's another way to do it, which is a little bit more advanced, which is you can actually use these things. We'll just do one here just to kind of show you. We'll keep that one. We'll do these things here, which are called these little keyframes. Okay, so anytime you want to do anything, which are called pans and zooms, you could start, let's say here, from this scene right here. Let's say we want to zoom in or whatever. We go ahead and click that, position and size, and then let's go forward a little bit more to like right here. I just did the right arrow. We're going to hit it again. And then let's go like, I don't know, like back to like here. I'm just kind of going forward, just to give you an example. And we'll hit it again. So what this is doing is putting 3 keyframes. There's a start keyframe, there's a middle keyframe, and there's an end keyframe. So now this middle keyframe right here, let's change it. Let's zoom in a little bit just to kind of show you. And let's go like to the left a little bit and watch. You'll just kind of see, I'm just kind of changing this one keyframe just so you can kind of see what it would look like. So you can kind of see this kind of stuff will help as another alternative. So you can either cut and zoom or you can keyframe. So now let's go back and let's watch what happens around after Ed Mylett kind of has his reaction. Watch what happens to Hormozi.
It's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff.
Okay, see how it kind of zoomed in really quick? Now, that's because it's got one keyframe right here, which is normal. Then it instantly quickly goes into a zoom. And then over here, it's back to normal. Well, I can actually take this one here, this zoom one, I can copy it, put another one here. Now I got 4. I got the normal, then it zooms in really quick, then it stays zoomed in up until here, then it zooms back out. So watch what this looks like.
So those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like
What I did there, I just emphasized a person can know about stuff. Let's watch it again so you see.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff.
Okay, and look, I didn't even find a good place to do that. But do you see how suddenly that like improved the value of the video? It just added that little element really quick. So these are pretty cool things you could do. Now let's go back to the beginning of the video. Let's go look at some of the other options I could do to improve. Really, at the end of the goal, all I want to do is improve this, right? So one thing I can do is I go over here to filters. And I can go ahead and play with some of these filters really quick and just see what they look like. So if I click on it,
you can talk to people one-on-one. You can talk to people.
So see how it kind of shows you what the filter does? You can kind of look.
You can talk to people one-on-one. You can talk to people.
That one actually kind of looks cool.
You can talk to people one-on-one. You can talk to people. You can talk to people one-on-one. You can talk to people.
So you see what I'm doing here?
You can talk to people one-on-one. You can talk to people.
Okay, so I kind of like this sun-drenched one.
You can talk to people one-on-one. You can talk to people.
Because it just gives it like this interesting dynamic. So let's go ahead and use this one, plus. Now, notice though, I could do strength over here. So if I click on the little sun-drenched filter, I'm going to go all the way down to 0. Okay, now this is what the clip normally looks like right here. And if I just start pressing up slowly, kind of see, I'll just keep going, 15%. I'm not noticing much yet. 38%. And all the way. When you start getting up to like 75%, see, I can also slide back and forth. See, it's like really blue there. And this kind of turns it more, it kind of deepens it, kind of takes it away. I kind of think it makes it a little bit more cinematic. So I might grab something, make big go like 80, right? So we'll go to like 80. So there's an example right there. Now we've got this filter is 80. So now let me zoom out a little bit. I'm going to drag that filter over the whole thing. And let me just make sure when I go over to Ed Mylett that he still looks good. Yeah. Right. So essentially, I just added a filter over the whole video. Now, another thing I could do is I could add an effect. So there's all of these different types of effects. Now, I don't want to get too crazy with these effects, but there are some effects that you could essentially, you can go to these categories here. There are some that sometimes you can do. So you can kind of go through and see like different textures, different things you can do. I would say don't get too carried away with this kind of stuff. You know, it's not really going to help. It's going to, if you're not careful, it's going to actually make things worse. So you kind of want to like, you can kind of put your mouse over and kind of see what these things do. But like, I'm going to give you an example. Let's add this one. And like, let me just show you what this would look like if you added it, right?
You can talk to people one-on-one.
So it's got like the fiery kind of things going on. But what you could do is you could like, you know, you could mess with it, right? Like it's got filters, it's got these things, these stickers, you can make it like really low.
You can talk to people.
It's not even low, right? You could slow it down to like really slow and make, you could just try to play with these filters if you wanted.
Talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't.
And see, it's kind of like, you could tell they're kind of there now and you kind of can play with them.
And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a one.
Okay. So you can kind of see what that would look like. I'm going to ditch it for now, though. I just think it's not necessary for this type of a clip. So I just think really, but you could go to effects and you could find some cool things. I kind of feel like some of it makes it a little too childish, so I don't really mess with it. So what we have here is we have a clip. What else do we want to do with it? Transitions could be helpful if you're jumping for like a bunch of different clips in there, but we're not going to mess with transitions right now. If you're using like 3 or 4 different clips, maybe that's going to work. What I do want to do, the main thing I want to do here is I want to add a filter to kind of get it to look a little bit better. And then I also want to add text, and I want to go to auto captions, and I want to press create. Okay, so I did auto captions. Let's pick up where we're at. So watch this.
You can talk to people
So first thing it's going to do, by the way, it's going to have a white outline around it because they're all selected. But look.
one-on-one. You can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know you.
Okay, so we've got these captions. Now, there's a few things we want to do to them, okay? The first thing we want to do is we want to change the captions. So we're going to go over here. We got apply to all checked. We're going to go over here and we're going to choose a bigger font like Montserrat. We're going to make it like all caps, okay? And we got to find a style. So let's go through and let's choose like one of these styles. You know, it could be like any one of these different styles. I think I'm going to use this one here. And maybe a font size. Something like that. And let's go through and does bold do anything? We'll go through. So now we're going to go through, keep scrolling down, look at our options here. Position and size. Position. Do we like the place that it is right there? You know, and we could do things like, you know, we could move it up to like the center of the document if we wanted. Kind of see like the line, where you can align it. You can align it up here higher. You can align it lower. You can kind of put these wherever you want. Blend, stroke. Kind of put a black, so you can kind of go down to no, and you're like, oh, actually the black does help. Kind of make it stand out a little bit more. But if you do too much, you know, it kind of starts to look a little weird. So you kind of go back and forth. You kind of add the stroke. You kind of figure where does it start to look pretty helpful? Maybe there. Background. If we wanted a background here, a different color, rounded, you know, you can start to have all this kind of stuff. I think we're going to ditch it for this one. And glow. You can kind of put like a different color glow, just kind of give you an example. Like there's a red glow around it. Kind of see what that looks like. And then no glow, glow, no glow, glow. So you kind of can kind of see there. Let's go down to shadow. Right now it does have a shadow. The shadow's red. Maybe you wanted to make that shadow more orange, or maybe you want to make that shadow more blue, or whatever color you wanted. You got my colors, but then you also got like obviously stuff like this, white. You know, you kind of go through and you're like, oh, I want to get it like kind of like a more of a reddish orange. So you can kind of find like that color that you think would look a little bit better with. There's this orange, for example. That's the shadow right there. Curve. You can kind of make it do whatever you want like that. You know, kind of show like how to be able to curve things around. Just kind of showing you what's available. I think that would be really weird right now. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we kind of been applying it all. So let's just go ahead and play now and see what this.
One-on-one. You can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out.
Okay, so I kind of feel like this is decent. It's kind of starting to look good. We got a filter on it. We got some text on it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click off these. So now I'm no longer working with the captions. And I'm going to zoom in. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove all of these like
People one-on-one. You can talk.
like when it goes like blank like this, it goes from to nothing to back. I don't really like that look, right? I think it just looks a lot better when you just have no blank spaces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start right here. Now, I don't mind on the very first one. I could actually go over here to animation, and I could actually just fade in this very first one. So I'll fade in the very first one, so it kind of starts.
You can talk to people
Like nothing, right? It kind of starts right there. But after that, I'm going to get rid of all these spaces. So the way I'm going to get rid of all these spaces, I'm going to zoom in, like pretty much that close. And I'm going to press the down arrow. And every time I'm going to go to the beginning of the next one, I'm going to just drag this over. Boom. I'm going to go press down arrow, and I'm going to go to the beginning of the next one. I'm going to close these gaps. Now, that one's already closed. So watch, I'm going to close these gaps. I'm going to do it pretty quickly right now. But all I'm doing is I'm looking for gaps. I'm going after the gap and then closing the gap. This is going to tighten it up just a little bit. And it's just going to take a second. Okay, I'm just closing these little gaps. It's just something very, very quick. And then after I close the gaps, I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do. Okay, so now this is a big gap. So we're going to go ahead and see what happened here.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff.
So for some reason, that didn't really... Let's see what happens now. That was kind of weird.
And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people.
Okay, for some reason, it tucked that one way behind. So we're going to go ahead and open that up like we just did. Grab it. Okay. And there, you can see there's a little gap here. Close it. Okay, close this. And we're pretty much almost done. Close. And we're at the end. And then over here, we could even do an animation and we could like fade it out. Go to out, fade out. Okay, so let's kind of look at this real quick.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So,
okay, pretty cool, right? And so we already got it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go way back to the beginning, right here. And now I'm going to just start pressing the down arrow. And we're going to look, and we're just going to glance at spelling. I don't really care about formatting, just spelling. And you can talk to people one-to-many. So the first thing is right here. See how it's spelled out 1? You know, I got to decide, am I going to use the number 1 or the spelling of the word 1? So for example, there's a few different ways I could do this. I could do like something like this, one-to-many. I mean, I could put like something like that, like one-to-many. You know what I'm saying? Like there's different, like one-to-many, one-to-one. And so when it's one-to-one, it would look like that, one-to-one. But if I'm going to spell it out if I'm going to spell it out all caps, it'll be like one-to-many. Then I've got to stick with that. I've got to kind of go, okay, if I'm going to do it here, I want to stick to that all the way through. So we're going to kind of notice that, see if it uses the spelling of the word 1 or the number. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So see how that's repetitive? And those are the 4 variables. So in this case, we'll listen to it real quick.
And those are the 4.
See how it says it? And those are the. Now, what I would do is I would just fix that mistake. Now, I could either do it with a full-blown jump cut, just cut this beginning part out, but that's a little bit too advanced. So what I'm going to do is just delete that, open that one up the whole time, and now let's just look at it.
And those are the 4 variables.
See, it's fine. In fact, I could even go here and I can see what happens if I put and those are the 4 variables.
And those are the 4 variables.
So you see what I'm saying? I made it a little bit better. I improved it. Now look, so if you're one-to-one, now he's using the numbers, 1-to-1. So in this case, I got to ask myself, did we want to stick with like this theme right here? So if you're 1-to-1 and then kind of enter, do we want it to kind of look like this? 1-to-1, one-to-many? Or did we want it to 1-to-1, be spelled out? You know, in which case it looks a little bit more like this. Now, we've been spelling it out before. Remember I told you to pay attention to that. So in this case, I'll just make sure anytime I see the numbers, let's spell them out. So if you're 1-to-1 to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're 1-to-1 to strangers, it's a cold reach out. If you're 1-to-many to friends, all right, so it's still spelled out. It's when you post content, it's your audience who knows you. And if you're doing 1-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads. Now look, it's paid ads, ATS. Now that needs to be paid ads. Okay, so we're looking for those quick little things to be able to fix. Gosh, it's good. Now let's change that to, gosh, that's good. Because that would make more sense for a reader. Gosh, that's good. Okay, and so what is this? Okay, and so the.
Okay, and so those are the. Okay, and so those are the. Okay, and
so he's saying okay. We don't really need that. Now Alex Hormozi is saying, and so those are the. So if we just go here to those are the, I could say and so those are the. See?
Okay, and so those are the. Okay, and so those are the.
So and so those are the. Now what I'll do is I'm going to cut a cut in this caption. Okay, right there I'm going to put a cut. And so those are the. And then this one I'm going to take that out. And so those are the. I'm going to delete it. Only 4 ways that a person can. So let's look at this now.
Okay, and so those are the only.
Well, I'm going to just delete that. Okay, so open this up. Now watch what I just did. I just basically found this little piece.
Okay, and so
those are the only 4 ways that a person. So watch, I'm going to go to this one, and so those are the, and look what I did here. He says, gosh, that's good. The next line, it says, and so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. So now it's kind of cleaned up. So let's kind of go back a little ways and see how that flows.
And to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like,
so now it looks a lot better. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so I'll probably delete the right. Just she let people know about it. And so advertising is the process of making known. Go see how this sounds.
guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define.
Okay. And maybe I'll kind of open up. That's how we define it a little bit, make it last a little bit longer, like that. Okay. So I pretty much have the captions where I want them. We're going to watch it once all the way through. I'm going to go ahead and watch it with you guys, and we're going to see what it looks like.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out. If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it.
Okay, so we've got a good clip, and it's already started to look good. I think this could go viral. Now, I think things that would improve this is, and so those are the 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. I mean, maybe if I were to like draw out some B-roll, if I were to add some B-roll that had like a graph that was like number 1 this way, number 2 that way, or even I just made like my own, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. That's the one thing that would make this a little bit better is if I made it a little bit, if I improved it by organizing his 4 things into a more readable fashion. I think that would help it significantly. And that's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? Like what I could do is I could just take I can go to the end of the video and just take that caption, whatever, and just open it up and then just cut it right there. And so now I've got like this caption with nothing behind it. And then I could just easily kind of go in here and play with this caption, right? So I could just go like, 4 ways to let people know about your stuff, just like that. So 4 ways to let people know about your stuff, whatever, I could play with this idea. I'm going to drag it up a little bit, kind of make it its own thing. I could put it all the way up here. 4 ways to let people know about your stuff. And then we could sit there, we could duplicate, we could copy this and clone it. And now we got another one, kind of, and then move that one down or whatever. And, start messing with these things, right? So you can kind of mess with them and kind of go, okay, and this one, let's go, number 1, let's say paid ads or whatever. Let me grab that. Sorry. These things are both moving for some reason. Let me grab this. Okay. So 4 ways to let people know about your stuff would be up here. And then let's say like paid ads right here. Yeah, it's for some reason it's connecting these. I don't know. I'm giving you guys a bad example because it's like moving these together for some reason. That's weird. I've never had that happen. That's just me being live, you guys. It's weird when I'm moving this one apart. It's like somehow got these things connected. So I don't know what I did wrong there. But that would just be an example of like, that's just me not know what I'm doing. But anyways, that's, let's just say, let's do it like this then. Okay, so 1, paid ads. Let's say this would be like an example. I'm just going to show you as an example, like 1 to 1, 2, 1 to many, 3, 1 to 1 to strangers or whatever. Whatever the 4 things said, and then 4 would be like 1 to, let's just say 1 to all. I'm just kind of making this up. So I would, in a way, like what I'm saying is I could actually make like a slide if I wanted to, and actually create like my own slide organizing the thoughts. And I could create that over here, and then I could just kind of position it, find a little spot, position it wherever I wanted to. Now, in this case, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and undo all the way. So if you need to undo, you can always go to Command Z or something like this. But what I'm going to do is just undo, go all the way back to like where he was. Now, or I could just delete these right here. And I could just take this and move it kind of back down to where like a good spot is. So let's say like a good spot was, I think like right here, and somewhere right around there. Okay, so essentially that's what I would do, right? I would basically make like I would add some content there. I would add some B-roll. By the way, if you want to add B-roll, it's not that hard. You could just go to media and you could just add some B-roll. And in fact, I'll just add something really quick, like something silly. Just see if I have some B-roll. Let's see. Pandora. Saw Pandora, Avatar, Pandora. Let's see what this one is. Okay, so here's some random B-roll, right? Is this some Avatar stuff I was working with? And so let's say that we wanted to add it like right here. I would just drag this and add it right there. And then let's say we wanted it to no longer be there, right there. So we'll cut it. So we just want it to be for this one line. It's going to be right there. We're going to scale that just like that. And we're going to make it like kind of big. So this is kind of what it would look like.
People who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're 1-to-1,
and if we don't want the audio coming in, then we would go to audio, clip that, audio goes to mute. And if we wanted this caption to be on top of it, then we would drag that caption up above it. So it look like this.
And those are the 4 variables. So
and then if we wanted to do something more cool, we go back to this scene. We could go ahead and go to the beginning of the clip and put a keyframe and go to the end of the clip, kind of like end and then like end and like press left once. You kind of get like the actual end of the clip and put a keyframe. And then on this keyframe here, sorry, we're going to do audio keyframe. I did audio keyframe on accident. Going to go to video, position and size keyframe in the beginning, and then go all the way to the end and press left once and position the keyframe. Now we're going to do is just zoom in, kind of like this. So watch what it does. It just adds
people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're
you see what I did
people
there?
who don't. And those are the
I'm actually going to do it again because I think that's valuable for you to learn. Okay. So when you click on a clip, any clip, right? The beginning of this clip, I see it right here. We're going to go to video. We're going to add a keyframe like that. And then we're going to scroll somewhere near the end. Okay. And we're going to add another keyframe. Now this keyframe and this keyframe are the same. So nothing's going to happen. But if we wanted to zoom in, then we would change the end keyframe to be zoomed in. If we wanted to zoom out, then we would start the first keyframe like this. We'd start the first keyframe like this, and then the last keyframe would be normal. So now it'll zoom out.
Who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're 1-to-1,
and then there's more things you could do. For example, with these keyframes, you could take the first keyframe, it's zoomed in, but also we could even change like the position of it. So we could zoom in and we could just like have it be to the left. So we could make this like 200. We can make this like 200. And see now it's starting like, or we can make it, let's say, let's make this one 0 and let's make this one minus 500. And you kind of see it starting like this. And so you'll kind of be able to see this is what's going to happen to it. So it's starting like that, and then it's going to end here. So,
and those are the 4 variables. So
so you kind of can like play with it and decide what you want to do. These are called pans and zooms. You just set these keyframes, set keyframe 1, keyframe 2, and you just got to make sure at the very least that it stays like that doesn't reveal anything behind it.
And those are the 4 variables. So if you're
like that,
and those are the 4 variables. So if you're
okay, now in this case we don't want that. That doesn't belong in the 4 variables. So that's an example of how you'd add some B-roll. So now the other things that I might do is I might add some music. If I'll put a link below if you guys want to add music. I'll put a link to being able to create AI music using this tool here, but you just go up to generate a track, and you can just generate a track based on what duration you want and stuff like that, right? So essentially, let's look at our clip here, and let's go. Our entire clip is 37 seconds, so we probably want like a 45-second clip would be fine, right? So you set the duration to 45%, or 45 seconds. And then you would just choose like a genre, whatever vibe you thought, like a synthwave vibe, whatever kind of background music vibe you wanted. You would just choose like synthwave track, 45 seconds, and click generate track. And this will generate like AI music, 45-second beats that'll just be generated AI in the background. And then if you like a beat, you're going to go ahead and hit the download. It'll save all your stuff to your downloads folder, which will be right here. And then your downloads folder will have like all this stuff you get to save to your computer. So it'll just be like, here's like 18-minute clips. I have 7-minute clips, 25-minute clips, 5 minutes, 1 minute, all this kind of stuff. You can kind of hear some of the random clips I have. So let's say we wanted to use that one. We're going to go ahead and download it. We're going to download it. We'll download it to our downloads folder. We'll go back to CapCut, and now we're going to go to our downloads folder here. There's our chill hop beat, and we're going to drag that over into our media. And now we're going to take this media right here, make sure we're zoomed out a little bit. We're going to take that audio, we're going to drag it underneath our file. So there it is, right? So we can kind of listen what it sounds like. Obviously, it's too loud. So the very first thing I'll do is click on it, and I'll kind of put it like -20. Now let's listen to it.
You can talk to people one-on-one, so you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't.
That's kind of weird, but let's listen to what happens here. I can see the volume breaks.
Gosh, that's good. Okay. And so those are the only four.
So I'm kind of really not digging that. I think that made it worse. So I just deleted that whole entire audio. I think that made it worse. But there are some like really popular sounds. You can always add the music inside of the app. So what I would do is I would go like when I open TikTok and post this, you can always grab some clips of some music from inside of the apps themselves. Or you can kind of look and see like what's trending, what's viral. So you'll be able to find some, different viral music that you'll be able to find that you can see, okay, what's trending, what's viral, what can I use? And you'll be able to download it as audio inside of here, right? So I don't know, there are some, big wave TikTok that's, you can kind of find some stuff that's like you can use that's not really copyright infringing. There are some, I was going to try to show you a great one. A lot of times what people do is they'll slow down music. They'll slow down popular like clips from music. I'm not seeing it really quick in my cinematic stuff. I've just downloaded so many random things or so many projects. But there is a couple that I think there's something I think would sound really great to this. That's why I was just wondering. But essentially you do want to add some type of audio behind it. And so if you mess around with AI will create a good one. I think it's this one I wanted to try here. Let's just see what this one's like. Castro and Essence, slowed and reverb. I think that's the one that I want to use. Let's see. Castro and Essence. This is an old clip. And let's drag it underneath. And let's see what this sounds like.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the four variables.
I like it. I think it's starting a little too late. So let's kind of cut the beginning out, drag that over, and let's maybe make it like -15 or something. And let's see what this sounds like.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people.
Again, I think it's starting too late. I'm going to cut a little bit more out. And let's see what that sounds like.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the four variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out. If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads. Gosh, that's good. And so those are the only four ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it.
Okay. So that works good enough. I think that was a lot better of a clip choice. And maybe I don't have the best start and stop, but essentially I at least have a clip there. Maybe what I'll do is I'll clip on it and then I'll fade out at the end, like, I don't know, like a 3-second fade. So now we have music, we have captions, we have a filter, and we've got the actual clip, and we've even zoomed in adjusted. All right, so now the only thing left is we go mark an in point at the beginning. It should automatically be there, an out point. Hormozi, Milet, clip 1, export, and 1080p is fine. You're going to export just like that, and hit export.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are while we talk to them, and there are people who don't. And
there it is. Hormozi X Milet, clip 1. So let's stop share, and then let's really quick share screen and see if I can share just that clip. Let's see. Hormozi. Clip 1. Where are you at? Where did you save to? CapCut? Wow. I can't find it. Hold on one second. It is saved under clipping. Got it. So let me just drag that to downloads. I want to play it if I can. There we go. All right. Let's see what this looks like now as the full clip.
you can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out.
Mm-hmm.
If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good. Okay.
And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it.
Okay, so I wouldn't say it's the most perfect video in the world, but I would say, given the context, I mean, I was on stage for an hour, I've been downstairs talking to people for an hour, and then I came up here for an hour, and then, I had to use a bathroom break because I haven't even used one. The bottom line is that I went a few minutes late for you guys. Now I got to go downstairs and network with people for another 2 hours and do meet and greets. So given the context that I've got a lot going on, and then I got to come back up here and edit this, and then I've got to post to the members area, because so far I've always had the content available the next morning for you every single time. I don't know if you noticed that or not. The Academy's always available the next morning. And what I do is I actually schedule the morning email the night. I have it scheduled out just to make sure that I hold myself accountable. Like, that email's going out, that video has to be there. I'll tell you guys right now, like, I was just watching a clip from a guy named Sneako. He's like a controversial, I guess, live streamer, like a controversial. He got like banned from YouTube. So think of him in like the category of like Andrew Tate, or these like controversial people that say stuff for like shock value, right? He got kicked off all the platforms. He actually created this thing that's like a clipping academy, and he calls the people the clippers. And what he does is he just like live streams like 7 hours a day, just like going around Vegas, going around wherever. He just has a guy with a backpack live streaming. The service goes in and out. He doesn't care. And then he has this army of like, inside of Discord, he has like 10,000 members. They're all clippers. And then they take his like little 7-hour thing, and then they go and they post it all over social media and go super, super viral. So this guy Sneako is just like a 25-year-old kid who just says like dumb stuff. He gets just millions and millions and millions and millions of views everywhere. And all it is just randomly people are just clipping like little things out of his daily stuff. The reason I'm bringing this up is, and same with Andrew Tate, the reason Andrew Tate became so popular is because he had this army of clippers, right? Sneako's a dang loser. Yeah, I'm not promoting Sneako or Andrew Tate or anything. You guys understand, right? I got to use examples. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, no matter who I use, some people can like, some people are going to hate. But the point is that there are if you hate them, this should make you want to do it even more. Is that these people have armies of people clipping and making them go viral. That's the reason Andrew Tate was like the most searched person in the world. He was like the most searched dude in the entire world because he had these armies of people, like literally channels, faceless channels, posting his stuff. So I want you to understand that when you learn how to be able to take clips, take long clips and be able to post them, you have the ability to be able to make anybody go viral. You guys can make me go viral. You guys can make Keala go viral. You guys can make anybody. You can make Damien or Michael Crouch go viral. You have that ability if we really all learn this skill. And so the last thing I want to say, because I have to wrap up today at some point, right? I got to go downstairs and go mix and mingle. The last thing that I want to say is that clipping is not something that I don't want you guys to sit behind your computers and clip all day. I want you to figure out how to clip, how to create an SOP around that, how to create a process around that. And then you could always delegate the clipping to other people, or you could teach your new referrals how to clip. So you could actually, you don't have to be the person clipping. You just have to understand that when you create these original clips, instead of just using other people's content, instead of using a vault of done-for-you content, when you actually create original content like what I just created, the algorithms reward that a little bit more. A SOP would be like a standard operating procedure, like a checklist of if you just took what I did right now, you can condense that down into a step-by-step tutorial. So you can make a PDF out of it. You can make a checklist that says, okay, first you find the video. Second, you go to 4K video downloader and you download it. Make sure you download it in 1080p, the video version. And then next, you're going to drag the file into CapCut. And then next, you're going to drag it down the timeline. There would be all of those steps. So the SOP would be what are all the exact steps Chris just did? And then what you're able to do is you're then able to go out and you're able to teach this to other people. And you're able to create duplication. You're able to pay outsourcers to do it. You can hire people in other countries, in the Philippines, to do it. Somewhere where they can make a smaller wage and it's actually still a living wage for them. A living wage here in the United States, you got to pay somebody a couple $1,000s a month, right? A few $1,000s a month for a reasonable livable wage, a few $1,000s a month. But that's because our cost of living is so high. But in the Philippines, $1,000 a month, you're going to get somebody just as good, and that's going to cover all their bills. Or at least to cover the equivalent of what $3,000 a month covers here. So if you have an SOP, you can delegate it out to other people, and you can start building out your channels this way. So in summary, a faceless channel, which we taught last week, with OPC, other people's content, that you actually clip out long form content. I could have gone through that same podcast right now, and keep in mind I did that in 40 minutes while I was teaching you and while I took a bathroom break. I mean, if I were to sit here right now and do that again from scratch, that whole entire clip that I did would take me, I could do the whole thing in 10 minutes. You'll get good, right? But that clip right there, I could post that right now to social media and it will get some traction. I think that it was good. I actually liked it. I think it was good. I think I had valid points. I think I could have made it better. We could always make it better, but the point is just do. And I could always post that one and then go back and post another version. So here's my homework. I like giving homework. Here's my homework for today. I want everybody to do your best to try to take a 1 minute or less clip out of either a podcast or out of one of my academies. Download it, take 1 minute, find something that's worthy, and do what I just did, which is add it to CapCut, add a filter. Right now, see, I'm in this room right here. It's kind of got this bland background, right? Add a filter over the top and see if you can make it make the blacks blacker, make the darks a little bit darker, maybe make it kind of like a vignette type of feel around, make it a little bit of a better. You'll see, actually, you guys that are watching live, you'll notice the replay. I'll add a filter to it. So add a filter, auto caption, and maybe add some background music. Take a clip out of one of my Zooms, take a clip out of one of my academies, take a clip out of a podcast online, and do this yourself. Make a 1 minute clip with captions, music, and a filter. That's it. And you can mess around and do something else for extras if you want. And just post it to your social media. You can post to a faceless account or not. That's your homework assignment. What's the point of learning any of this? You're not really going to learn until you do it. Now, I went about 15 minutes late today because I don't have Mike known here. My main reason for a hard stop time is I like making sure Mike gets home to his family. For me, it's my family. I got to go meet downstairs, which is some of you. So I'll quickly look at chat. There's 100+ chats. Oh my God. I don't know if I missed out a massive amount of comments. Thank you so much for your passion and energy. You're always over delivering, giving so much to the fam. Once you create a process, you can outsource. Thank you, Chris, Michael, Keita, and Damien. Have to go to my meeting. Thank you. This lesson clarified several things for me. Thank you so much. This shows the power of clipping. Nico's a dang loser. I saw that one on Alive. But by the way, just so you guys know, I tune out. Just a little bonus of like Chris Record. I tune out things like that. Like, I don't have opinion. Like if Trump wins or Biden wins or Michelle Obama runs or The Rock, I don't really get caught up in this stuff. Like I just don't. I always like, I'm a marketer. So like I see someone like Andrew Tate, people are like, oh my God, I hate this guy or I love this guy. I just look at it like, what can I learn from marketing? Okay, wait, hold on. So he has a $50 a month club and he's making around $2 to $5 million a month in recurring revenue from this. And his main way to get people is he just does these outlandish podcast interviews and people clip it and he makes all this money. What strategy can we model here? That's kind of how I think. I always just, I don't get caught up over, look, it's the internet. Like people say stupid stuff. You understand this, right? You understand if you're going to get online, it's like the craziest stuff you're ever going to see. So you got to kind of develop thick skin and not worry so much about what people do or say. Like you're like, oh my God, I can't believe someone did that. Really? On the internet, you can't believe someone did that? Like as big as the internet is, you got to expect it. There's going to be something for everybody out there. And also I love everybody, even the people who other people don't love. I still love them. I still show my love. But the internet is where some people find their supermodel girlfriends. What? This is a really great session. Thank you so much. Who's got the money? Thanks for bringing a free spirit. That was an excellent session. This is why I stay up until 1 a.m. to watch. That's awesome. I'm going to miss you guys tonight. I am flying back tomorrow. I think that I might be back in my regular office tomorrow. I think I'm flying back at noon here. Yeah. So I should be back for regular time tomorrow. I didn't really miss much. We just did 2 days. Hey, appreciate every one of you guys. I'm going to go downstairs and mix and mingle. If anybody's here in Dallas, come see me downstairs. There's like a little bowling alley in the back of the bar. I'm going to be back there. Appreciate you all. Oh, supermodel AI avatars. What? You guys, what conversation is happening here in the chat? You guys are talking about stuff. I don't know what you're doing. I'm missing some stuff. Am I supposed to find a supermodel AI girlfriend on the internet? Kyle Stevens says, make some in-person sales for the fam that's there. Listen, you guys, if you just stand next to me downstairs, you do realize I'm going to get a never-ending flow. I got to get some energy. Look at this. I'm going to get a never-ending flow of people that are like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. It was awesome. Okay, it's just going to happen, right? Because I stood out. I did a rap. Who else did a rap, right? So, and I'm wearing the same outfit. So if you're down here, if you're part of the fam, just stand next to me. And literally people will come up and be like, oh, so how can I learn more? And I'll just be like, you got $20? You got $20? They go, yeah, cool. Sign up. Can you sign them up? Go, sign up. You know, it's just like, just if you're here, just take advantage. Just stand near me. And by the way, I need energy. And these are for the weekend. I drank 3 of these things over the last 2 days. So I still need energy. Hey, I can't keep talking, y'all. I got to go. Splash cold water on your face. It's just been a long day. Then I got to come back up and edit. And then I got to post to Vimeo. You guys, my editing process is SOP. Oh my God. I could do a whole video. Like I go through, I drop it into a template. I do an intro. Then I do the filter. Then I usually grab the audio and I run it through Adobe Podcast Enhance. I drop that audio down. I add a music video to the end. Then I take that. Then I export to Vimeo. Once it's loaded up in Vimeo, I embed in the website. And then what I do is I grab a thumbnail. I take a screenshot and then I pull it into Remini, which is an AI company, and it auto makes an HD screenshot. Then I load that back into Vimeo. Then I write up the post inside of the Academy. Then I go over and I actually log back into Vimeo and I download it again, and then I re-upload it back into Google Drive. Then I go back and I add it as a downloadable link. And this all seems like a lot of stuff, but it's like process. Normally it would take somebody like 2 hours to do all that, and I do it in like 15 minutes. And it's just I don't know, just learning. Thanks, Chris. This is my first time on the Zoom. Hopefully you got a chance to see the pregame. Bowl of 300. No one's taking bowling seriously. It's just like people just walk. No one's actually It's like weird. It's like there's bowling balls, but you just walk up and grab one and then throw and then like walk off. It's like no one's actually like really bowling. They just put 10 players up. There's just 10 names up and there's just 10 frames for each person. And everybody's just, no one's really trying. No one's actually playing a game. But I will bowl 300. All right, guys. That's it. Take care. Thank you very much. I'll post this by tomorrow. Peace.
I've been using GHL to automate the workflow. See, I'm trying to make it grow, but I ain't trying to work slow. I'ma hit them with the free trial and sign up 3 more. Got me feeling like Curry, cause I don't miss the free throw.
Leads coming easy, high level open on my Mac and my PC. My stripes looking beastly, I'm back like a VC. Just hopped on that PJ from Miami to DC.
Ooh, this is easy, just duplicate and repeat. My client pays the invoice, my Stripe sends the receipt. I've been stacking G's since the days of MTV, but now I'm getting deals with MCTV.
Yo, that's a fact, cause even when you sleepin', the missed call text back gon' keep the leads creeping. That's what I'm thinking, these steps I'm completing. I fix my CRM and now my pipeline ain't leaking.
On the high level, I'm about to activate my plan, it's diabolical. They kept on telling me my dream was impossible, but I'm unstoppable. I kept it moving, I was overcoming obstacles.
You on that high level, you tryna focus on your biz, but you might struggle. I'm trying to get around my friends with the right mental and the right hustle. We gon' teach them how to focus on the fundamentals. Me and record hit the city, pull up looking litty. Tryna sign a client, got a call from my CPA. Asked about the ETA, file another DBA. Client gave me 5 stars, I'm feeling like it's GTA.
Oops, I mean GHL, I put them through a VSL. Working on my LTV, but focused on my CPL. 20K a day will get you paid, but I'ma keep it real. 20 mil a funnel, get you feeling like you're Dave Chappelle.
Get yourself incorporated, setting up your LLC. Stack enough dinero to get your haters filled with jealousy. Service all your clients well and build your credibility. Ask them for referrals, you gon' build yourself a legacy.
Building out my agency with all the tools from A to Z. But logging into all these apps was driving me crazy, G. I had to find a way to automate it with a strategy. Been working on commission, time to pay myself a salary.
Focus on your biz, don't get hooked on bad energy. Avoid the negativity, create your own reality. Visualize and let your business rise up to the galaxy. It's time to normalize, changing lives with our strategies.
Got my hook and lure, I'ma catch 'em like a connoisseur. White label apps and keep it moving, I'm a SaaSpreneur. Grew up as a pure-blooded hustler as the game matured. Came up from the sewer, now they calling me a lifepreneur.
Hold up to the scene, looking clean, I'ma do my thing. Working with my team, I've been delegating everything. I used to work on apps every day, I had like 17. Made the switch to high level, now I'm stacking up my
On the
green.
high level, I'm about to activate my plan, it's diabolical. They kept on telling me my dream was impossible, but I'm unstoppable. I kept it moving, I was overcoming obstacles.
You on that high level, you tryna focus on your biz, but you might struggle. I'm tryna get around my friends with the right mental and the right hustle. We gon' teach them how to focus on the fundamentals.